let's jump into the first story. The only story that matters. Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, Italian government offer. Fight like true gladiators at the Colosseum. The Ministry of Culture's office issued a statement saying there have been no... Okay, so they're already raining on our parade. This is the update literally as of right now. There has been no formal contact from the ministry nor any written document. Even if the news appears tasty, it is unfounded. The initial report was that an official from the government of Italy contacted Zuckerberg about staging a UFC fight against Elon at the most legendary battleground in the world. You know why I think it's more likely they did make the offer? I think they're panicking. And they're saying, no, we never made this offer. No, I think someone probably did. I think someone was like a preliminary. Look, if someone in Italy was going to entertain the possibility, the first thing you got to do is figure out if Elon and Zuckerberg would do it. You can't go to the government and say, hey, let's prepare the Colosseum for a UFC fight. We'll book them later. No. The first thing we do is they go to Mark Zuckerberg and say, hey, how would you feel about fighting at the Colosseum? Zuckerberg tells somebody, the story goes viral, and it was preliminary in the sense that you need to know for sure they want to do it before you make any moves to prepare for it. But what do you think, Alex?
You don't think they would just fake it for the publicity and just say that I mean, it's a possibility? I don't believe anything that I read in the news. So I think that they could just be...
Oh, you think media's just lying about it?
I mean, yeah, they're just trying to get some clout or...
I just want to believe it's true,
Elon tweeted it.
I know, I want to believe it's true.
He tweeted it. Elon said there's a high possibility the fight happens at the Coliseum.
Oh, that's where it should happen.
And as he says, the most entertaining outcome is the most likely.
I highly agree with that.
That would be the most entertaining outcome.
Do you think Elon's just manifesting, though? Like, no one from Italy was...
I don't think he needs to manifest. He probably actually
What if he's a huge believer in manifesting?
Hey,
That's how he's going to get a fight at the Coliseum.
We got his tweet right here. He said, some chance fight happens in Coliseum.
I told you.
So
he needs to work on my endurance.
It's a non-zero chance. He said he needs to work on his endurance.
Yeah.
You know, Lex Friedman sparred with both these guys, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, and at the end of it all, he said, I love these guys. I had so much fun. I want them to be sparring partners. I don't want them to actually fight because, you know, you break Elon Musk's brain. That's a big problem for a lot of people. Same with Zuck. So I kind of with Mark. I don't even think it has to be like wet blanket, like womp womp. It could be really great to see Elon and Mark spar and to see them become friends and work together for the future.
I would agree. I don't think Elon's mom is too happy either. You've seen her tweets.
Yeah. Do you think Elon would consider a performance-enhancing neural link to help him in the fight if he hooked himself up to a computer to give him an advantage?
His neural net versus Zuckerberg's meta net?
Yeah, I mean, they could reach each other's... Somehow they both need to hook up to a computer and fight in the metaverse, and then nobody gets hurt.
If you were going to do a boxing match and you could somehow have like an augmented chip or system so that you could read your opponent's algorithm, like you could see their muscle, you could see what part of their muscles were getting hot, how fast parts of their body were moving, would you augment?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the future, you know, we joke about this a lot, Ian, but I'm a conspiracy theorist, I'm a tinfoil hat wearing, but I do believe that is the future, that they're going to tell people to plug into a computer, some sort of vanilla sky fake world. You're going to live in some sort of pod, but on Earth, they're going to say, you only live till 70 years. But in this pod, you're going to live for 1,000 years. Because...
More than that.
Or more than that.
No. But I mean, more than just being immortal, they're going to say, in the pod, you can fly.
Yeah, oh yeah.
In the
quarterback
pod,
of the Dallas Cowboys.
What was that? You identify as a carrot? In the pod, you can be a carrot.
Exactly right.
In the pod, you are a carrot. Carrot world. Imagine somebody being like, I just feel like I was born in the wrong body. I'm a carrot. And then they plug you in and you go into a fake world where every other person is an AI generated NPC and they're carrots, and you live in a world where everyone's a carrot.
That'd be better than what's happening right now, to be honest.
Well,
Cutting
that's
off other limbs.
that's why they're making the world so bad.
Don't be a metaverse carrot.
They want you to have such a terrible life, you know, just be totally basically destitute, can't make any money, so that your only option is that you live in this computer where you're a millionaire.
It's a long-term marketing scheme.
Yes.
I mean, is Cypher wrong when he's eating the steak and he's like, I don't care?
That's the best part of the movie, really.
Yeah.
I think about it, because... Like, do you really want to go back to the Matrix? I probably would. I mean, if you're on a ship with a bunch of dudes, like, pooping, you know...
in a bucket.
In a bucket, you know, that movie's terrible. Or you can go to the fake metaverse where you can just eat steak and be a billionaire.
But once you know, dude, once you know, it's like knowing that your body is in some metal tank, you know, in a pod, being pumped full of bugs. No steak would ever taste as good. You'd be like constantly like, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't know, but my dreams feel real sometimes. You've had a dream that felt real.
How do you get...
But what is that? I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying in the metaverse or whatever, when you're plugged in, your dreams could feel like it's real. I mean, I've had sex in a dream and it felt real. I mean, I've eaten in a dream. seemed like I was eating food.
Every time I try punching in a dream, my hands just move real slow.
That is
Yeah,
weird.
so running away, you're like, oh.
The worst.
Reading.
But you know what I still have? Do you guys have stress dreams? I have a dream and it's recurring. I don't have it as much anymore where I like wake up in the middle of the night and it's a friend calling me and he's like, "Why aren't you at the exam right now?" And I get a zero.
I have
on the
that. I have
test.
that regularly. Like
I don't have that because I didn't go to
regular
school.
dreams about missing exams?
No, it was like I always had this dream when I was in college that I had signed up for a class and then somehow forgotten about it, and on the last day of the semester you remember and you have to go take a final.
Yeah,
or
or it's like it's
just
something
you have
like
like
that.
something you have forgotten. That sense is always.
It'll be like a
there.
football game. Like I'll be in high school and it'll be like, "Oh, I got a football game tonight and I can't get there." It's weird.
Yeah, I have dreams like that, but it's more like I missed the show.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
like I'll
stress
have a dream
yeah.
where it's like we're our car broke down in DC and it's like we're not going to make it back in time. What do we do? And I'm like, wow, I'm going to miss it.
Mine where I'd be have a play that night and I didn't know my lines. I forgot to memorize my lines, but I'm all going on stage in the dream, and it's like, ugh,
yeah.
My
I have this
dreams
recurring
are
nightmare
fun.
where Alex Stein is boxing a guy and
that's terrifying.
That's a scary dream. Yeah, me.
but
boxing.
yeah, you're going to be. Is that what's going on? What's going on? You're looking.
Unboxing, yes, guys, everybody. July 22nd, Misfits 008. You're looking at the newest Logan Paul wannabe, Primetime Alex Stein. I'm going head to head against Modine in a no holds bar. Well, there are rules, so there are. Whatever there are
Some
bars,
bars.
yeah. So you can hold some bars. There are rules in boxing gloves, but no helmet, no headgear, and it's 3 2-minute rounds. And Modine, you better watch out, dog, because I'm gonna bring the thunder and the lightning. If you know what I mean.
I was noticing you're looking a little thin. Yeah.
I am. Thank you, Tim. Tim's been very nice to me. And to that girl last week, there's a. I'm telling you, I've never seen more sushi in my life. I thought I was in Japan when I walked in. You have a refrigerator full of. Why do you have so much sushi?
It's Friday.
I know, but that you got a lot. I mean, there's a lot. There's a
30
platter.
people who work here.
There's a lot of
We
sushi.
get 2 trays for like 30 people. Normally, like the scraps, we throw to the chickens, but the chickens are in an emergency holding facility due to the air quality,
That's what I heard.
which is improved, so now they can come home. Yeah, the air quality is totally safe now. It rained. I'm very happy. This morning, I was inhaling that oxygen stuff. Really works.
Yeah.
I got a
Yeah.
question
It was
about
nice.
everybody getting put in pods. You guys were talking about that earlier. So you said they think like they want people in pods just because like they want you to eat. At least I've talked about this. They want to like control people and make sure they don't go crazy. Put them in the pod. Do you think that people really believe that if we were happy and we started pairing up and having families and like communities, that would actually be a bad thing? Is there like a thought that would be bad somehow?
Yes, because they hate you.
Like what is it they hate? What do you think they hate?
You are
that
the
you're-
carbon they are trying to
Yes.
reduce.
Is it
You're a peasant
Well,
that they
look.
want to eradicate.
If you're like, imagine this. Imagine you have roommates who keep pooping on the floor. You would like to not have those roommates, correct?
That is true.
That's how they view you.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're like, look, we're over here trying to worship Moloch and, create a one world currency. And this guy, Ian Crossan's making these videos about abolishing the Federal Reserve. That's a problem for us.
And Ian,
But
it said it on the Georgia Guidestones. They want to reduce the population. just to-
Up. It said maintain a population under 500 million. It didn't say reduce the
Oh,
population.
I see what you're saying. Yes,
Right.
but there's a reason why they want a small population because they just want the elites and then basically like a housekeeping staff. So they just don't want there to be like 2 classes. And that's kind of where we're going. There is no middle class anymore. And that's why I think people have lost the American dream because nobody can afford a single family home. And if you look at like the price of a single family home in the 60s to now, I mean, it's impossible. Our parents had a lot easier when it came to
I
the
I think that's
American
why
dream.
the U.S. government and big pharma and tech companies love depressed people because who's going to get into these pods? Like if you have friends, a community, and a family, why would you be like, I need to live in virtual reality? Whereas if you don't like your life, you're lonely, you're depressed, of course you would get into the pod. You're the first to go.
But they like everyone here. They don't like liberals. I maintain this position.
What do you mean?
That when we're talking about powerful, wealthy elites and people who run corporations,
Yeah.
if you went to the average CEO and said, which group of people would you rather have, rural conservatives or urban liberals, they'd say rural conservatives hands down. Unquestionably.
You think that?
I would say it is fairly obvious for a lot of reasons. The first, think about climate change, big problems, but it's all stemming from cities. Think about all the problems Democrats talk about with overpopulated prisons, cities. Then think about the fact that conservatives don't protest.
No, but they don't
So-
say that they're killing cows in Ireland.
Sure. But it's not absolute. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is conservatives don't protest. They live on little farms and mind their own business. The amount of pollution produced by the average conservative is substantially lower than produced by the average liberal. So if you look at everything these global elites are talking about and all the problems they're experiencing, it is dense cities, not rural populations. So I always put it like this. Alex, if a person come up to you and said, Alex, have you considered aborting your children? What would you think? Like, you think that person's your friend, or do you think they hate you? How would you consider sterilizing your kid? Just wondering. Like, come on.
Yeah, I would think you're a psycho. I mean,
that's not a person who likes you.
Yes.
So when you have these Democrat politicians and people like Bill Gates or whatever being like, I think people should be allowed to remove their children and abortion should be available for all of these people. It's like, I kind of think you hate them and you're trying to have less of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but to be fair, did you see that Lindsey Graham where he was talking to Zelensky and how he was so happy about more dead Russians?
I think so. That was a while
He's
ago,
like,
right?
oh, if that means more, I guess they were talking about giving them more weapons. And
It's
he
like
said,
a month ago.
He said, oh, if that means more dead Russians, good. So he's, I guess, conservative, but it doesn't matter the right side or the left side. They don't care about us. They don't care about their
This is my point.
Yeah.
This is my point. The way I describe it is, you've got a chicken coop. The chickens keep pooping in their water. You go into the chicken coop and you say, hey, you chickens, you stop pooping in your water. The next day you come outside, half the chickens are still pooping in the water, the other half have stopped. Which chickens do you eat?
Yeah, the water pooping ones.
The ones that won't listen, that keep polluting and destroying everything. So when you go to West Virginia and you drive around, what do you find? People have solar panels. People have septic systems, which are very self-regulating in a lot of ways. You've got to get them pumped, but if done right, it could be, you might not have to. So the pollution produced in rural areas dissipates. In cities, it concentrates. And then what do you see? The advocacy for, in blue states, things that stop liberals from having kids. So it may be they really don't care about us at all. And all they're saying is, let's enact policies that result in less people. But those policies disproportionately reduce liberal populations.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
I
I
agree on
also
that.
see a disdain from the elites for people who are self-sufficient. And they continue to pass legislation that is contrary to people being self-sufficient. And there's
Like
a
what?
huge you can't even collect rainwater, for
that's
God's sake,
true.
in many states.
There's
The war
that's
on the
true, but there's
Second
a lot of
Amendment,
reason
the
for
war on-
But
I
those
mean,
are
that
in
wouldn't-
blue cities. Those are not in like West. Like you look at red states and they're doing the opposite of that.
No, even in red states, there's still a lot of restrictions, two-way restrictions that I don't agree with. I think they have a disdain for a
winning.
lot of flyover states and the
we-
people there. I think they do have a disdain for.
We have absolutely won on two-way. The expansion of constitutional carry is unprecedented. The expansion of shall issue.
in recent years, yeah.
I mean, in the
Because-
past 30 years, in the 80s, you couldn't get guns. And it was until 2008, the Supreme Court, I think it was Heller versus DC, when they were like, actually, it is an individual right to keep and bear arms, outside of your home and stuff like that. So we're winning on that, all that. In New York, you struggle. In dense blue areas, life is a struggle. They're releasing criminals into the cities. There's an increase in violent crime. People are getting pushed in front of trains. You come out to West Virginia, you got no problems. Crime is down. It's
It's
lower than the
true.
national average.
Haven't seen one crackhead since I've been here from New York.
And they do have drug problems in West Virginia. They do have opiate problems.
Yeah.
But I didn't know this. I actually thought crime was fairly bad here. And then we had, I think it was Riley Moore talking about it. I pulled up the stats. Below average crime in West Virginia, statewide in all jurisdictions, is below average. So if you want to live in New York where they're releasing criminals and justifying it, where they're allowing lewd and lascivious performances, advocating for people to terminate their kids or sterilize their kids, those things all result in the destruction of that population. Meanwhile, in red states, they're doing things that allow the individual to thrive and to flourish.
So
We
then
can't even have pizza.
why?
Oh, I know, right.
Why is this agenda? Is it Agenda 2030? They're trying to create like mega forest. They're trying to like renaturalize a large segments of Earth and not have humans go there. Like no more human footprints in these big forested areas. They want people away from like whatever you would call this, the rural areas, and they want to pack people into these mega cities. I don't know if I'm not speaking for
15-minute
everybody, but what's that?
but a 15-minute city is not a mega city. It's a small pod city.
Yeah, where everything's 15 minutes away.
Yeah, where everyone's
The
like
hospital, your grocery store, everything you would need.
a 15-minute city is not going to be 20 million people in one circular city. It's going to be small pod cities all over the place.
All
But
connected
the reason
by
why that's
high-speed
bad
rail.
too is it's easier to shut down when it's a small city.
Well,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I don't trust these people at all anyway. So it doesn't really matter what. To wrap it all up with a nice little bow.
I'm
Who
loving
cares
the
who
rural
they like
life.
and don't like? They do bad things.
Dude, rural life is nice. I'm really starting to love it.
Well, you know, it's funny because everybody talks about Texas. I remember, Ian, you were just like, oh, you know, Texas and Joe Rogan, people are moving there. And the reason why Texas is good is because it's for fat people. There's like a CVS on every corner. There's a McDonald's. And so it's like, yeah, I love the rural life too, but I kind of like that I can just like go to the Walmart or buy my tuck-friendly bathing suit at Target and my Big Mac.
You look good.
Okay, guys.
All within half a mile.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.